Hello people, and welcome back to part 41 of Palaven, our vanilla Cities Skylines build. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And thank you so much for the kind comments, likes and support. On the last episode we had a little city recap, recapping over episodes to 31 to 39. And it's nice to see how much Palaven has changed, isn't it? I think like 40 episodes of this. Seems like a lot more, doesn't it? But we've got so much done, and there's still so much more to do. Really is. And in today's episode, we are going to be coming back over to the downtown side of things because we need to begin work, or at least, I think we probably will finish it today, I think, of Palaven's City University, which is going to lie on this side of the downtown. We're going to bring the ring road out here. I bring it along the river and hook it into the highway over here. And do some nice things, I think. We've got some nice things in store today. We get some nice big important buildings to continue fleshing out this skyline as we now begin to kind of crawl down into Palaven's kind of downtown suburbia, which will look out over to this point of kind of the inner city from this point of view. I think it's going to be quite nice. It's going to be quite nice. So anyway, we need to start laying out some road networks and terraform. So we shall get started, shall we? So of course, while we're terraforming, we're going to continue to expand the ring road very much in the fashion as we have done over here. If we were to kind of see how people come in and out of this side of it, we're just going to have another little junction, this one that will connect straight into the highway. And allow people to merge in and out of the downtown that little bit easier. So I'm going to use our highest intensity. We're going to right click the level that the ring road is already on. And we'll begin to just push out along the river here. I think this would be really nice to decorate as well, you know, kind of having the ring road come this close to the water. Because it's quite elevated everywhere else up against in the downtown, so there's some nice waterfront ring road action happening here, I think. I think we're in for a nice time. Would also just like to say a quick little sorry for the lack of content recently. I'm currently having some work done on where I live, and it's affecting the Wi-Fi, and the room that I actually record in is getting decorated, so we should be back to a normal schedule in a week, 2 weeks tops. Shouldn't be too much longer now. Okay, we'll just carry on. Scooping out this cavity here. With a little bit of room here as it comes around the corner. And flatten out a couple of these little weird edges too. Our university is going to sit really nicely, kind of looking over to this side of Palaven, right? It's going to have a nice view. Okay. Fantastic. Looks like the nature reserve is suffering a little bit of flooding, but I think it's a risk worth taking. Let's come and grab our ring road roads. We'll go with our 2-lane highways, of course. And then let's begin to, I guess we can tether onto the key guideline. That'll be alright. Are we okay here? This is about a similar distance, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. So very similar to how we laid out the initial ring road structure. We're going to kind of come in with our straight pieces first at a couple of different angles. And make sure that we're not getting too much janky terraforming happening here. Keep our eye on it. And then bring this one over here. And then we'll come up with some nice little interchange on this side as well. Just do a touch more terraforming, give ourselves a little bit more breathing space. And then we can just match these straight pieces up. Then we'll come into our freeform tool. Then we can just start to take chunks out of them. Do find you get some fairly nice smooth curves with the freeform tool. We'll kind of allow our ring road to float like this. Not sure whether we'll bring the key up this side. I think because we're opposite Palaven, I think the key almost might take away from Palaven's vibe. Well, I guess we do have it running this side. I guess we'll see how we feel. There's always time to bring it back in. And then we'll correct our flows of direction. And then come in. I think what we may do here at some point is bring a connection into this side. But I think what we'll do for right now is just bring in a classic little switch point that we've got in a couple of different places around the highway. Okay, so there we go. It's going to allow the ring road to extend out here. And that'll give us a nice little base frame for what we want to work with at the minute. So now we'll grab our level terrain tool again and we'll push our landmass up against the ring road as we have done with everywhere else. Let's bring it up to here, this will be fine. And then we'll check the rest of the landscape that we're working with. Let's kind of make sure that we're all on the same level here. Fantastic. I'm getting a little bit of layer of height developing here too, but I think I'm okay with that. I think we'll keep it going for the length of the ring road. You know, it's creating layers of height between the two high-speed roads here as well, which I think will pay off in the long run. We'll certainly have some walking paths flowing over this into Palaven as well. Maybe feed them into here. So many options, so many possibilities, I think. Okay, so let's begin to map out the road network, shall we? Let's go ahead and grab this road right here. And we'll come out. Let's match onto the road guide of the ring so we're remaining as parallel as possible. And then we can take this road away now. So this will be the kind of the key arterial that flows into the suburbia. And I think we'll save ourselves probably this much room. I think that'll be okay. So we'll draw this one up and we'll just plumb this road in. Let's make sure that this one comes out to a sensible length. Grab ourselves a curve tool. Snap to that road guideline. And then we can hook them in. And then we'll be able to plan our kind of outer lying downtown suburb off of this road here, which will have a tremendous view over to the downtown skyline from here. I really can't wait to do this build. It will probably be next episode we work on this. We'll kind of sweep from right to left across this landmass now. Industry down here, airports, suburbia, campus. It's going to be a fun project, I think, isn't it? I think it is. Okay, so let's upgrade the campus road into something a little fancier here, maybe. Let's go for the road with trees. And then we'll continue to bring this parallel with our ring road. Probably up until... let's go for about there. I think that'll be okay. We do also need to factor in the monorail line that flows out of the downtown Green Cities district. And I don't think it would be rude to have it flow over the road here, right? Let's bring ourselves down to a sensible elevation. Okay. I think, do we want it to run parallel with the road? I think we will. I think that's what's going to happen. So let's come in and we'll just snap to the grid for right now, which will allow the monorail. Actually, let's double check how far away is the stop. So the stop is 2 tiles away, so we'll keep our monorail on the second tile. Fantastic, wonderful. Let's bring this down to, grab our road again. We'll come back with all our snapping for this and our curve tool. Or do we just want to do a straight road here? Let's bring it back just a touch. And we can almost draw in the frame of our downtown university here, I think. I guess we'll see what happens. We've got some nice space here to do some decoration. Could possibly get some smaller housing out here, maybe. Some parkland. Something nice to build up against the ring road. There's a fair few possibilities today, I think. Okay, and then we're going to have our monorail station for the campus here. So we'll go for there. I think that'll be nice. We're actually slightly higher here, so let's take away a couple of sections so we get that nice gradual descent down into the station. Okay. And then let's come in with our freeform. So we're starting to see some transport spice develop over here now as well. So monorails, roads and metro all merging in with each other here. Everyone's happy. Fantastic. Okay, so let's clear up the old campus area that we did from our live stream testing. And then let's grab our main building. So we'll go into the campus main stuff. Now, of course, we could just place this right here, and I think we are going to centralise with the metro station, aren't we? Yes, we are. Thank you so much. That is tremendous. Okay, and then we'll come out from these 2 points here. Just come out by 10 initially. And then we can decide on the asset. We could use some of the university assets themselves, like the fountains and stuff, and get some paths either side. I think that's what we will do. Buy another 10 tiles, which will be a total of 20 all in all. Okay. Then we can grab that administration building. And of course, if anyone would like to name this university, now is the episode to get it in the comments. Do appreciate the continued naming of Palaven's areas, even though I forget to do them for 90% of the time, but we will get there eventually, I promise. Okay, so I have this university extend right up to the highway, and we'll play with our main building here. And then let's start to have a look at some possible designs that we're going to have to sit out front. So university fountains would be the obvious choice. Very kind of key building here, aren't they, I think. Lines up tremendously well outside. Let's go for some of those pathways. I think we will go for decorations. Very kind of grandiose and over the top, I think, for the front of this university. This is like, you know, Palaven's educational crowning jewel, if you like. I think the ones through the middle will go without decorations, though. And then possibility for an academic statue as well. But again, I think this will work nicely. Opposite the metro. And then we can double back onto this with the academic statue number 2. Which will give us a nice little grandiose run up into this campus area, right? I think we're happy with that. I think we are happy. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so let's continue to map out some of our like internal campus path networks here. And we'll see what we start to come up with. I think we'll stick with mainly without decorations for the main stuff. Now, of course, we want some of the key, like the really key buildings, like the School of Science, to sit up alongside this main road here. We've also got the School of Medicine to play with as well. It's like a really fantastically important looking asset. And we'll spread these around the campus, you know, so we'll have one in the corner here. Here we have the School of Law over by the highway. Kind of spread the important ones around the campus, I think, you know. We'll see what happens. See what we can come up with, I think. So let's first of all place in our first key asset, and I think the School of Law is going to work really nicely up as a main building here. How are we feeling that? With the monorail out front as well. You can get some nice path and tree spice in between kind of the border between the ring road and the actual road. Some nice green belt stuff in here, especially around the monorail. That'll look good. We do a nice large key asset here. School of Law is going to work tremendously well, I think. Okay. And then we'll continue with our path network. Let's bring this down and behind. And then we can start to discuss something of a spice template, if you will, for this area. So I'm also a real big fan of the bookstores for the City University. They have they just work really nicely up against like a main road like this, you know. Real big fan of them, huge fan. So I think we'll move our bookstore over just a touch. And then let's start to come through with some spice templates. So very prestigious university. I think I'm personally feeling a lot of Conifer spice for this particular build. So I think we'll come down with our angle. Pull it until about there, I think that'll be alright. Then we'll bring it down here. And then we'll start to see how this kind of looks. Some super basic repeated Conifer spice to kind of flow through the campus here. Something super basic and simple, but classy at the same time, which I think is the impression that Conifers give us. There's a little side entrance into the campus here. Let's also get that monorail flowing now too. So it stops here. Let's drag it over to this point. So we'll now see the first monorail flow over towards the campus here. We'll see how we look. I think we definitely need to change the colour. The red really stands out like a sore thumb. But otherwise, arriving into the campus here, it's going to be quite a nice little treat. Let's change this up. Let's maybe go for like a nice kind of clean modern white colour that matches the monorail and the School of Law and the Green City District as well. Oh yes, with the ring metro as well. Yes please, there we go. But the transport spice is really coming together in Palaven now, I start to think. Wonderful. Okay, so we now have some space in here to flesh out with some of the smaller campus buildings. Let's maybe begin to flesh out the bookstore with some other facilities. We'll come into our grid and angle. And then we'll almost create just a little border up against our fence and tree pattern here. Kind of double up the paths like this, you know. And then let's maybe come through with University Study Hall. I really love playing with campus. There's so many combinations and different assets you can introduce into them. So, you know, because we're in the downtown setting, I want to maintain that downtown feel within the campus itself. Like, we will have some open parkland. But, you know, a lot of the assets are very tightly packed in like this, as if you're walking through. Just a prestigious campus is the take-home point, I think, from today's episode, isn't it? Then we have a cafeteria here as well, but, you know, we're starting to encroach upon the main entrance now. We don't want to take away from that vibe. So I think that's where we'll call it there. Okay. And I think now we can extend our conifer pattern down. Maybe come down this side, look in there, and then we can repeat that design on this side as well. So we'll now start to see just a touch of symmetry develop around the campus as we begin to repeat our fence and conifer pattern here. Now we can do the same here, so we know that we're the fourth tile in from the main road, so we can come back over to this one and prepare this side to be expanded within a similar fashion, and just allow this repeated conifer spice to flow down this main path here. Make sure we're not losing that equal spacing. So, you know, it just helps accentuate the buildings a little more of an intricate path network that links people around the area. And we're getting some nice repeated spice in there now too. See, this is like the spice sample of the episode, right? This is what we want to generate across the rest of the campus area. And I think we're onto a winner. I think we are. I think it's on its way. Already. Already. Okay, of course our students are going to want somewhere to sleep, so let's begin to work on something of a dormitory for them. And again, I think I might wait for the dormitories to kind of be up alongside the main road here. Get some nice walking path spice over the Ring Metro into the Green Cities downtown area too. So let's begin to work on that. Let's grab ourselves some more pathways and we'll begin to extend. Let's come for road length as well. I'm just going to stick to units of 10 for right now as I'm drawing out. So that's a total of 30 right there. And let's have a look at the size of the university dormitory asset. So again, if we were to place these right up alongside the main road, I don't think they really work in that sense. Not a huge lover of them in that capacity, especially that close to the School of Law as well. I think we need to almost give the School of Law a little bit of space to breathe. So let's maybe move the dormitories into the campus a little bit and work with this space right here. So let's grab ourselves another road. We'll come to road guard line while we're coming up to this secondary path. And then we can generate a little block of accommodation that's going to reside within this space right here. I think maybe we'll take up this side as well. Then we can get some nice repeated park designs in there, just so there's a little bit of space between the main administration building and the accommodation, or the dormitories. I don't know why I call it accommodation. It's not an accommodation. So we could bring them in back to back like this. I don't think that would offend me. You know, it's all about maintaining that very densely packed in vibe. And then we even have the room to come through like this as well. So I think we'll continue to repeat this dormitory spice in this fashion. Get one more in here. We will if we knock it out just another tile. That's going to be fine. We'll go for a very heavy repeated pattern of 6 dormitories. I think we'll also upgrade the middle path into one with decorations. And we'll just kind of see how that blends into the rest of the campus from various angles around the city. Kind of how we're looking for the main entrance here. Again, yeah, I think I'm fairly happy with that. I think that's going to be okay. Okay, and we are kind of all level here, right? About as even as we'll get them. I think I'm happy with that as well. Okay, so we'll continue now. Let's come out by another 10. And then we can box off our area here. We'll fracture this point as well. And then we can have some nice repeated parkland spice to sit within the campus here. Very nice indeed. Okay, so we're starting to flesh out a campus build now, I think, aren't we? Things are starting to cook off. And I think again we'll return to our spice palette and we will arrive with some fencing. Now let's come off our grid here and road length. We'll leave a little bit of space between the path and the fence. And then how about we go for a little bit of Conifer Garden spice while we're working with conifers here. Let's try and get a repeated pattern going. Some larger vegetation maybe. Kind of clustered around each one. He says. Spamming it around. And then let's go for some of the larger rocks maybe. Some of the larger ones perhaps. And then we'll also decorate this with some park life props as well. So let's come into our park life stuff and we'll grab absolutely some kind of street lights here to illuminate the garden at night time. We'll see how this looks. It's actually easier to do at night time because we can see how far spread the lights are from each other. Okay, and then maybe we'll flesh out with a touch more conifers. Let's go into our medium trees. Change it up a size. Bring some larger ones in. And then if we can just see this little theme repeat throughout the campus area. It's almost like a throwback to Palaven, right? Especially like the conifers just look superb as they silhouette against the light at night time. But I think that'll just give us a little bit of breathing space. That's going to be like a real take-home point from today's episode, isn't it? Breathing space and campus vibes. Okay, let's continue to flesh out here. So let's start to work on like a little bit of a recreational area. So we'll include some more important university assets here. So do we want something to sit directly behind the administration building? I think we do. How about a study hall? We do already have one though. Gymnasium perhaps? I think we need to kind of browse some assets here and see what we fancy. So here's the gymnasium. Again, does it justify? Maybe we move the gymnasium over here. I think the study hall kind of has those important vibes about it, doesn't it? I mean, we can't have two study halls. There's nothing saying that we can't do that. Okay. Let's throw another study hall in. Because if you're planning to get your campus up to level 5, you will need multiple of each of these buildings, of course. And then we'll grab ourselves a pathway. And come in behind and just box him off. It's kind of how I like to build my campuses, you know, just keep drawing in with your pathways in units of 10. And then allowing them to... This is kind of how I like building my campuses, you know, drawing in units of 10 with the pathways and then planning the buildings around them. Stopping in to detail them and spice them up a little bit. I think it helps you come together with a much more cohesive campus area, I think. Okay, yeah, so you see this is the spice sample right now. These kind of buildings, fences and conifers is very much the palette that we're after. It's time to get some people arrive via the monorail station now also, which is great news, it really is. I think what we will also do is just remind ourselves almost to come through with a touch of industrial road spice. And we'll create ourselves a ring road merge here. We even bring one down over this side too. Get some pretty insane bridge vibes from that though. We'll see how that develops. So I think what we'll start to do over here alongside the main road is flesh out with some small parks. So we'll draw down some pathways to act as little side entrances into the campus. Let's come on through these ones right here. Then leave a little bit of space and another one down here perhaps. And then one a little further here. Cool. And then we can start to flesh out with some commercial zonings, which will integrate nicely into the side of the campus thing. Because it's mainly 4x3s here. Might throw in the occasional 4x4, but we'll see what comes in. And then again maybe we'll throw in another small park asset here. And let's grab ourselves a regular gravel path to expand these assets out. All stuff we've done before, you know. A couple little connections in there. We'll see how these little commercial assets begin to integrate into the campus. Not a huge fan of this one, but I guess we'll let it level up a little bit. We'll see how it goes. I'll get some people drive down this way now too, which is nice. It's always nice to see a new area come to life, I think, isn't it? I've also boxed off these little fence patterns as well. We'll come through with those Conifer Gardens down this way. Same on this side too. Okay, well here we go. Starting to get some things in that we want now. Remember 4x4. Yeah, so these little bookstore ones, really like these. Like a little diner. That's quite nice. And then we'll wait for some of these to level up as well. Then we can do some nice transitional green belt between our zoning, parkland and campus stuff. And we'll see how that kind of turns out, shall we? Okay, so now let's continue to add in some of our assets here. Let's go for Cafeteria and a Gymnasium maybe. Grab ourselves a little boardroom road around the Cafeteria. Then we can grab our Gymnasium, which will slot in nicely. It's all about the orientation of the asset as well, you know. Make sure that it's facing the right way. Very similar to what we did over in the Institute of Technology with this building. And kind of, you know, like this is the actual front of the asset, but this is the better looking side. This one right here. Okay, well, from the bird's eye view, we're starting to generate some nice patterns here, I think. I think everyone's having a nice time. Okay, so we do want a road to actually flow into the campus itself. So let's come back with all our snapping and we'll grab ourselves a regular 2-lane road with grass. I think will work nicely. And we'll then bring this into the campus area itself. And then this will allow us to bring in some kind of car parks and plan some more intricate stuff around the road network. Also bring it out a little bit further. Just come out to maybe here. And then we can head down into this one. So there is a road that flows through the campus. Okay, so let's now have a look at orientating the School of Medicine, because this is one of the more important looking assets. I think we'll absolutely have some car parks out the front of this one. However, I also want to use this asset as an opportunity to decorate the highways. Kind of coming by here and you're driving past this, I think it's quite important that we factor in the orientation of the asset around this. Maybe even bring this one over here. I think we will. Let's relocate it down to this side for right now. Yeah, okay. I think this is a nice spot for it, isn't it? And then let's bring a tighter road network around the back of it. And then we can plan in some of those Green Cities car park decals to sit out here as well. Length of 600. And that will allow us to squeeze them in with little 2x2s here. Okay. And then we'll repeat that again with a length of 600. Then come down. I think we'll get some really big car parks in here, so let's go from a length of 300. And then we can repeat these right out here. So for those that aren't playing with Plop the Growables, to generate your car parks in without mods, you will paint out a regular district. You do need the Green Cities DLC to do this. Give it the organic and local produce specialization in the commercial right here. And there we go. That's the vibe that we want to go for here. So this is almost like the campus's main car park, right? I think we're happy with this. I think everyone's on board. School of Medicine focuses tremendously well outside of these car parks, I think. And we're not taking too much away from this side either. Still, this asset just looks great from all sides. The kind of the orientation isn't massively important here, but I think for realistic purposes to have it focus outside the car parks will be nice. Okay. Looking from the highway. Let's get a little nighttime look, shall we? Oh yes. There it is. That's the one that we want, isn't it? That is the one that we want. Fantastic. Okay, wonderful. And then we'll now hook this side of the campus into the main building. And we can start to develop some campus spice up alongside this side of the road. We'll start to bring our pathways down. Fantastic. Then we'll have a look at what other assets that we haven't really used up yet. So we've got a chess club. I think we'll definitely have another bookstore here. Let's bring it in this side. Do also have the auditorium we haven't used yet. This is a really nice centralised asset. We can certainly bring it in here, I think, can't we? Nice looking building, this one. Again, we're retaining that tightly packed in theme, I think. Starting to get some open spaces developed, you know, but this is all also if we can flesh out. I think what we will do is probably repeat our Conifer Garden pattern in a couple of different shapes and sizes. Let's have a look at how we can do that. So no, I'm not really going to want to continue to put buildings in here, so let's maybe introduce like a full bank of commercial. And then let's add a pathway in. Grab our park fences. And then we'll start to mooch through. Around the back of them, change these shapes up, you know, get like a little L shape in there. And then maybe a big block of Conifer spice around the back here. And then we'll start to piece together some of these little garden designs here. Change up the conifer size. Every now and again, maybe introduce... no, actually, I don't think we will. We'll keep it conifers. We'll use some other trees elsewhere in the campus, but for these specific conifer gardens that we're using to flesh out the empty spaces, I think we can live with just the conifers without deleting our fences, of course. Let's also maybe come through with some smaller bush spice, kind of in and around the corners of the fences and the pathways. Let's span them here, there's no real rhyme or reason to why they're here. And I think we'll have to be really careful with what assets we let sit within the campus itself. Like you see, like the pennies one really clashes with the rest of the buildings. Don't mind the fry guys. It's like a little takeaway here for where you can grab food. So I think we'll let the pennies one regenerate. What are we going to get in here? Yeah, I think it's like a little store like that. I think I'm happy with that one. Let's make these historical. And then we'll see how these ones are starting to develop down here as well. So they're all hitting level 3 pretty quickly. I think we'll be happy with them to let them stay. We're starting to get some people move here now, which is really exciting. Nice to see the path networks come into play. We'll definitely have some pathways link over into the Green Cities district. Probably turn this pathway into an elevated one to run parallel with the monorail. But now that these more important assets are coming in, we're starting to see something nice develop. It's on its way, isn't it? It is on its way. It is, I think. Okay. So let's have a look at the actual university level itself. So the campus attractiveness is really good. We've just got to wait for those academic works now. We've got plenty of students in. Fantastic. Let's come through here with some more of that Conifer Garden spice. I think any kind of tree in these little park fence designs, you can squeeze them into so many different areas. Like we kind of go for something a little more formal and landscaped here with the conifers and the park fence, but you can get something equally as nice with kind of nature reserve fence and cherry blossoms, and throwing some more kind of Asian looking assets in there to get it to become like a classic rock garden if you like. Okay. So you see now all these little fences up against the paths, rather than just leaving it empty. I think it certainly adds to the campus, doesn't it? I think it does. Okay. I think we're starting to cook, aren't we? I think it's on its way. Let's continue to repeat this path design that we've got going on right here. So there's a path and like a tile of space between the next one. So we'll bring that one up. Let's bring that one in. Let's actually take this one away. Don't think we'll repeat it that side. We'll just have another little pathway linking through. Yay, they're using them. They're using them. It's always good to see, isn't it? It's always satisfying. See where they're headed. That's right. Walk about the campus. Such a good DLC. I absolutely love this one. It's almost like creating little mini towns with all these little assets, isn't it? I like the paths of the roads. I'm a huge fan of campus if you don't already know. Absolutely love it. Okay, so we have to have the Commencement Office in as well. This is obviously a really important asset where everyone graduates. And where do we want this to sit? Let's have a little scan around the campus here, shall we? Got some worker issues. Actually, yeah, let's have a look at introducing some high density residential into this area. So let's go for 4x4 blocks here. Almost like localized student housing, right? We'll also come through with some road networks and start to flesh out this idea a little bit. Maybe get some coming in this direction. Nothing huge, very similar again to what we did with the edge of the Institute of Technology. And we'll keep these relatively low level. We won't allow them to grow enormously huge. Get some tower blocks in. Some kind of more apartment looking numbers as well. Trim that one up. Yeah, these are the ones that we're after. These are the nice ones. I think these are from the Art Deco content creator pack. Really nice residential assets. Not so much these ones. Yeah, I guess we could use Plop the Growables here to get these ones in. 4x4 level ones are really nice. We'll absolutely have some of these in as well though. I like these tower blocks in. Similarly with this one as well. Okay. So how are we looking from the other side of the downtown? Okay, yeah, I think I'm definitely feeling these Art Deco ones up out front. So we'll sweep through with Plop the Growables. And then get them in once we've got kind of a full bank of them to line this road. Let's see how that looks, shall we? So I think I'm absolutely feeling the repeated Art Deco spice here as I run into the campus area. So we're going to keep them really tight in like this, and then what we'll do is have like a central road flow through. We'll upgrade this road into something a little fancier. Turn the side road into something a little fancier even still. Check the measurement here, so we come out by 400. I'm going to bring this up as well. We're not going to connect them into the main road. We might do like the occasional one that hooks in, but you know, we don't want too many junctions on the arterial. So 100% feeling the repeated Art Deco spice here. These do come with the Art Deco content creator pack. The same pack as P-Now Street, the enormous building over here. It's one of the better content creator packs. I think what we'll do, how are we feeling some path spice either side maybe? Just to run behind. That might be a few too many trees. Let's downgrade the pathways into ones without decorations. and almost just let it act as some smaller student accommodation. Or nicer kind of apartments that sit in and around the campus area that we're finding around the rest of the campus area. Come through some bushes and decorate our little street corners here. The repeated palette spice is really important, I think, to bringing an area to life a little bit more. It's also a nice way to use up these empty spaces that otherwise would just be left empty. Come through a couple of different sizes of conifer. And we'll just move down another growth size while we're in this tinier area. Okay. How about that? How are we feeling? Huge fan of this little rundown here. But yeah, these look really nice up against each other. Huge fan of these. Very, quite Miami, I think, isn't it? It's a little bit of Miami Vice. Or Miami Spice, if you will. So now we will return to work on our commencement office, and it looks as though a happy accident has occurred, and we can squeeze in some fountains and then centralize our commencement office perfectly right up at the head of the kind of residential area of the campus here. Okay. I think perhaps we'll even bring through some more paths just to mark the end of the dormitory area. Let's sacrifice this one right here, just so we can come through. And I guess we don't really need that connection there, do we? Purely because it's going to mess with my symmetry. It's fine though, it's fine, it's okay. Okay. I think 2 fountains at the commencement office. We get a really nice rundown here. It's almost like, you know, they spend their whole lives living here. Well, not their whole lives, the whole time at university studying. And then they graduate right next door. I think this will head off this area of buildings quite nicely. Okay. Okay. So make sure that everyone's happy and getting along here, you know, we're not kind of clashing too many styles together, and I think we're going to be alright. I think we are. Of course, I have spent all my money as usual, so I will let the game run on 3 speed for a little while, and then we'll pick up our School of Science and introduce kind of the final unique campus building into the campus, if you like. And I don't think we're going to put any varsity sports here. I don't think we are. Maybe put in a track and field stadium. It does fit perfectly there. Do we have to get the track and field stadium in now? Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe. We do also have the possibility, because we have train lines and metro lines here. So we could now allow these to flow alongside the highway and bring a metro stop into the campus, which I think will look pretty nice. Especially if we have like the overground metro station here, which will centralise with like the central road of the car parks. Should we go for that? I think we will. Let's throw in a metro line. Yeah, I think we have to have that there, don't we? It's always nice to have public transport in a campus, I think. Let's come with all our snapping. And then this is kind of perfect to run parallel. Or do we want to take it in a bridge over? Yeah, I think we will. Let's kind of factor this in. Let's bring the overground metro line over here this way. Smallest elevation step. Bring it a little further over. There we go. Yeah, we can get it to flow over the ring road, which again will give us that layered transport spice once we start to see this ring road in action. Because it's not really a ring road anymore, is it? This is just like a entrance into the ring. And then we'll come to road length, of course. We'll come down by 11. And then we'll sink our metro down. And then what we can do now is just have a really nice metro line that's going to flow once I leave the game on 3 speed for a little bit. So we'll come back with this metro line hooked in, and we should start to see some people arrive from Dawson into the downtown campus here, which will be nice. They'll be able to grab the metro, they'll walk over here, which takes them into the transport hub and of course the rest of the downtown. So more public transport incoming, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we now have a metro line flowing on the river here. It's going to hug the highway. It's going to go underground temporarily. And then emerge out into Dawson's twin bridges, which is nice to see this bridge finally getting use. It's been here since like what, episode 10? That wasn't that early, was it? Episode like 14 or something? Who knows? So long ago. But it's active now, and we have metros running people into the downtown. This will probably get super busy because this is this accepts external passengers. Like this is a national line right here. Oh, I forgot about this. This was such a nice bit of spice. I'm pretty sure we said we're going to do a repeated pattern spice off the back of this for Spice of the Month in the Discord. Which we will one day. So let's see if we get anyone arriving here. No, not yet. Not yet. We'll wait till the AI picks it up. Which they will. I hope. I hope that they will. Okay, so we have our overground metro in right now. And I guess we don't need this little bit of road anymore, right? I'm really liking these as a repeatable pattern. Especially with the pathways behind and the treed road through the middle. Nice little spice discovery today, everyone. I think it is. So let's continue to flesh it out, shall we? Let's bring on our snapping. I've decided I'm not going to have a varsity sports stadium here. Yeah, it's not for me. It's not for me, everyone. Okay, so we'll come off road guideline. And then let's come out by 350. I guess do we want to flip the orientation here? Because we come out here. I think we'll maybe do one more row. Let's bring it out here. And then what we'll do is we'll flip that orientation just for a little bit. How long are we here? Let's check this. It's 1620. Okay, so we'll come out leaving 5 tiles between the road. So we'll do 1620 there. Bring it down this side. Again, same distance, it's going to be at 350. Even 5 tiles in. And again, you want to sweep through now with your 4x4 specifically zoned higher density residential until we generate our Art Deco spice. Understand some people probably won't be a fan of this. It is a tremendously heavily repeated pattern, but think of it almost as like a housing development, you know? It's like supplementary student accommodation. Here's my justification. And if you don't like it, do feel free to tweet me. The links are down in the description below. Okay. So how are we feeling now? How are we feeling? I like the mix of colour as well. All these like browns and... Is this turquoise? Teal? Mint? I don't know what this colour is clearly. This grey is lush though. This actually is a very similar colour to what I'm painting my PC room. In case anyone cares. But yeah, this like spice sample. Paths, tree road and Art Deco high density residential. Fantastic combination. Really is. Okay, and then do we have the space to repeat this to bring a nice end to this area right here? Let's bring this down We'll grab ourselves another tree road and bring it into here. I think this is just like a really nice little block. You can tell there's a metro just arrived, how many people are driving. But we're now starting to see this area just come to life a little bit more, aren't we? It's nice to see almost like a sea of houses in this repeated pattern, you know? Right up next to the campus like this. I'm a fan of it, I really am. I think it's enjoyable. It's filled out a nice big chunk of space. What is fairly awkward space as well between arterial road that leads out of the downtown and campus area. Okay. Yeah, cooking I think. On its way, isn't it? Certainly. Certainly is. Okay, the only real building we have left to place now is going to be the School of Science, which is £165,000. Let's have a little discussion about where we can actually fit this in. So we've got the School of Law down here in the bottom right. School of Medicine up in the top right. So I think the School of Science will be the perfect asset to decorate up alongside our highway here. And then we can start to bring the campus to a close. With our usual collection of detailing spice and time lapses and whatnot. So I'll hang around for a little bit and we'll wait for our income to shoot up. So I've just given our little ring road a temporary connection here, very janky, just to see how it would perform hooked into the highway. And look how many people are using it. Yes please. Some people heading off into the Green Cities district, which is always appreciated of course. And how about this, a little bit of ring road action. I hope everyone is appreciating the ring road as much as me. It's been such a nice addition to the city, hasn't it? It really has. Let's see where they're headed. Lots of people mooching about into kind of wider downtown here. People are still staying on the ring road this far down to, I guess, come off here. Yeah. Yeah, we do need to factor in a ring road slip for the campus actually, so let's work on that now while we are here. Let's go into our wheel of terraforming. We'll grab our slope terrain tool. We'll grab a medium intensity with a medium brush size. And then we'll just start chipping away at a little bit of this banking so people can come in and out of the ring road from here. We will of course start out with a little one way. And then we'll of course flatten out a touch of terrain. Bring our intensity up just so we can get this slip road off in a sensible fashion. Let's bring it out here for right now, and then we'll come off with all our snapping. I'm just kind of eyeball this one here. Let's go in for freeform and road guideline. And a car park is on fire. How does a car park catch fire? How? It's concrete and paint. How does it catch fire? Okay, we finally have enough money for our School of Science. Let's go ahead and bring this in, shall we? Let's come back to our roads. And again, very similar. We'll bring out a little road right here. And then let's grab our campus building. So we can place it in. There we go. And how do we feel about the orientation up against the highway? How are we looking from this side? You know, with these assets you have to orientate them correctly. Here's a helicopter to save the fire. Okay, not entirely sure about that. I think I would prefer it a little closer to the metro station. So we kind of have a big chunk of density in this area. I think we'll go for that aesthetic. Let's bring a road directly behind the metro, which will sandwich it quite nicely, I think. Not enough money. Man, I am burning through the money this episode. Such an expensive build. We'll be right back, guys. Okay, and we are back in the green. Fantastic news, everyone. Let's bring our little industrial road out here. And I think what we can do is maybe use... I think the road maintenance depot will work quite nicely in this area. Use this as like the maintenance building, right? I think we'll do that towards the end. Okay, how much is it to relocate this beast? 33k. Let's check that we can fit it here first of all. So we can't have it orientated that way, but I think if we centralize it with the metro station, yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We get our School of Science there. Okay, so there it is. There is the repositioned School of Science with a metro station immediately outside. How do we feel about this, everyone? How do we feel? We'll definitely introduce some more Conifer Spice up alongside here. Maybe even get a nice pathway design. Let's have a little look at this, shall we? I feel like this is going to be quite a long episode, but since I am a little bit AWOL at the minute, I think you guys will appreciate it. Let's bring a pathway. Where does the asset end? This grid here. Let's bring it down to there. I'll say it would make sense to bring it up to this one, wouldn't it? Actually, no. Let's bring it down there. That's fine. And then we'll come off with the grid snap. And then we can introduce some of those Conifer vibes into the area. We'll kind of stick with a fairly small. I think, are we going to go heavily repeated here rather than kind of spontaneously placed like the rest of them? I think we probably will. Yeah, the conifers and these trees, which ones are these? These are the medium size, aren't they? These ones, the alder. Conifer and alder are a nice little tree combination. I think we've stumbled across quite a few little spice combinations today, haven't we? Art Deco, alders and conifers. Just some smaller rocks along here. And then we'll start to see how the run up into kind of the main metro square and car park area begins to unfold here. How are we feeling? It's good to see all the metro people are immediately walking to the monorail. Oh yes, look how busy that is. Yes please everyone, monorail spice. So where are they all headed? A lot of them heading back to the metro? I would assume they are. Might have to increase the number of monorails on this line. It's getting quite busy. It's good though, at least they're not driving, right? Everyone's using the public transport. Means more money to pay for this massively expensive build. Huge expenditure today, everyone. Huge expenditure. Let's have a little look around here as well. Let's bring in some fence vibes around the end of the metro. That's the end of it, about there, isn't it? Bring it in. And we'll include some more conifer patterns. Just as a way to help border off that road. It's almost like a continuation of what's happening here. Should we have a little nighttime sample? Yeah, it's a nice campus. I really like it. Oh yes, there it is. Yes please. Yes please indeed. Okay. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to swing through with some of the smaller assets that we've yet to use. We still haven't introduced a library, which we need to do. This is going to fit perfectly here, is it? Looks like it is. It'd be rude not to get it in there if it's going to fit that snugly. Thank you very much. Okay. We've also yet to use the futsal club, and I think what we'll do with these is allow them to fill out this space here. So let's bring ourselves another pathway that's going to come behind these commercial zonings. And then we'll get futsal club in here. There's also, is it a chess club as well? Math club. Maths. Not math. Okay. And then... yeah, there is a chess club. I thought there was. Maybe a chess club in here too. Actually, let's move that chess club. Let's bring this one over here. We'll bring the maths club into the corner. And then what we can do with our vanilla gravel path that comes out of the small park asset is just now make almost like a little bit of space filling parkland that will flow around the campus area. Or at least this part of the campus anyway, not anywhere else. Okay. All alders around here. And again, when you're kind of putting together what I call false parkland or green belt here, if we come into city parks and grab ourselves just like a real small selection of props, so where we kind of have like a junction of pathways here, come in with maybe a couple little fences, a sign, some of these little finger post signs too on the corners, a street lamp nearby too, a bin, throw that down, and maybe just a small little flower bed behind them. And if you can keep repeating this, it just adds a little more importance to that junction. Makes it a little more interesting, I think, doesn't it? I think it does. I'm a big fan. Big fan of stuff like that. And then of course, let's have a little look what else we've got to use up here within our campus buildings. So we could squeeze in another cafeteria, although I think what we will do is bring these pathways down on an angle snap to link up with the high density residentials, which provides another way into the campus. Again, do we want to have it? No, I think that'll be okay. That'll be alright. We can flash out with more green belt stuff and maybe some services here too. This is a good chance to introduce some, so maybe like a med clinic on campus, and of course a police station as well. Not sure which one. I think maybe we have to go for the European one, right? Yeah, I think we do. Okay, and how about we decorate out with some schools as well. Maybe a library. Does this work nicely with the university assets? I think it does, doesn't it? I think it does, but maybe not there. I think we'll bring this onto a separate road. Because we've got a fair bit of space here yet to still fill out. Let's bring ourselves a little bit of road action out. And then I'll have my library on here. Okay, fantastic. However guys, that does feel like finally a good place to jump into a detailing time lapse. We've got a fair old chunk of detailing to do around here. We're going to come through up against the ring road and introduce some transitional green belt between the ring and the road, very much like we've done over here with this side of the downtown. We kind of see how we have these spaces between the ring road and the actual road infrastructure. Very much in that fashion. Add some more ring slips on as well, turn this into a two-way and allow it to kind of curve out in this direction. Now come through here, continue to expand all these vanilla park assets. And then also detail up kind of the rest of the front of the university here. Yeah, well, absolutely returning a live stream here at some point. We've got a lot of space to fill out in terms of detail of the ring road. Intersections, decorating this metro line that runs along the river now. I've got a lot of space to do over here. We also need to save room for the train line because the train line is going to flow out this side, or that would be this side of the highway. So I think what we'll do is almost like mimic basically what I've done here, you know, where we have train on the left and metro on the right. We'll do this very similarly on the ground as well. So we get like a very nice repeated transport pattern all the way along this winding highway. I think that would be really cool. Do something like that. And yeah, anyway, let's detail up because I am rambling. So I'll speak to you in a minute. Okay guys, that is going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, a like below is always appreciated. As much if you haven't enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. Really cute campus build, I'm really happy the way it's come together, and we've got some nice transitional space to merge into that outer lying suburbia, which will more than likely work on next episode. And we will absolutely return here in live streams and continue to decorate up alongside the river, and flesh out that highway interchange a little more, and decorate the metro and train lines that are due to flow around the edge of the highway from Dawson Waterfront. Just a quick thank you again for all the patience on the channel. Again, in the last couple of weeks, like I said, I'm having some work done where I live, which has interrupted the Wi-Fi, and soon to be interrupting where the PC actually is, so there will be no videos at all until that room is decorated. But of course, I will keep you updated when that is on the Discord and on Twitter. If you are following me on social media, then you will also find that there as well. Hang around for the rest of the outro tags. You guys wouldn't have seen all the detailing, and this place should have a fantastic view over to the nighttime skyline, as always. Otherwise, I will shut up and I will leave it there. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.